Okay, let's talk about something that drives pretty much every student crazy. You see those people who just seem to ace everything without living in the library, right? And you wonder, what is their secret? Well, I'll tell you, it's not about being a genius, and it's definitely not about just studying more. It's about studying smarter. And today, we're going to break down exactly how to do that.
So does this sound familiar? You're putting in the hours, you've got the highlighters, the textbooks, the flashcards, you are grinding. But when you get that grade back, it just doesn't match the effort you put in. It's like you're sprinting on a hamster wheel and going absolutely nowhere.
And then there's this nightmare. You know, the night before the exam, you feel pretty good. You feel like you've got it down. But the second you sit in that chair and flip over the test paper, poof, it's all gone. Your brain just goes completely blank.
When you put it all together, it's so easy to just feel like you're spinning your wheels, just completely wasting your time. But here's the thing I really want you to hear. It's not a lack of effort. It's not that you're not trying hard enough. The problem is the method. Now look, this is a bit blunt, but it is 100% the truth. The problem isn't you. You don't have a bad brain. You're not bad at studying. You've just been handed a toolkit that's, well, pretty dumb and inefficient. So today, we're throwing that old toolkit out and building a new one. So here's our game plan. First, we'll expose the study trap that almost everyone falls into. Then, we're going to get practical with how to master your mindset and build smarter systems to get the work done. After that, I'll show you the Feynman technique, a total game changer for actually understanding stuff. And yeah, for those times you're in a real pinch, we've got some last-minute lifesavers. All right, first things first. We have to understand why the default advice, just study more, is actually terrible advice. It's a trap that leads to burnout, not to better results.
And this is the core idea of everything we're going to talk about today. This isn't about forcing yourself to do something you hate. It's about learning a few simple psychological tricks to kind of hack your own brain so that it starts working with you instead of fighting you every step of the way.
Now, before we even touch a single study technique, we have to start right here, inside your own head. Because what you tell yourself about who you are as a student, well, that changes everything. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got what I call loser talk. It's passive, it's negative, and it just kills your motivation. But look at the right. That's an identity shift. You're not just hoping to study, you're stating that you are the kind of person who gets it done. Your brain is a funny thing. It doesn't really know the difference between what's real and what you just tell it over and over again.
So I want you to try this. I know, it might feel a little weird at first, but say these things to yourself. Say them out loud in the mirror. You're not just trying to be positive, you are actively rewiring your brain. You're building a new self-image where studying isn't this awful chore you have to do. It's just what you do. It becomes automatic.
Okay, so you've got your mindset dialed in. That's the foundation. Now let's build some incredibly simple, powerful systems on top of that to beat procrastination for good. Have you ever noticed this? If a professor gives you 2 weeks to write a paper, you start it 2 days before it's due. But if they gave you 2 days, you'd get it done in 2 days. That is Parkinson's law. The work always expands to fill the time you allow. So the trick is to give yourself less time. Create a sense of urgency. Set a timer for 25 minutes and say, I'm going to finish this chapter. Your brain kicks into a whole other gear. This one is a lifesaver. You know that moment when you think, I should probably study, and then immediately your brain says, or I could check Instagram. The moment you have that impulse to do the right thing, just start counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And you physically move. You stand up, you walk to your desk, you open the book. It's a way to physically interrupt the hesitation before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. All right, now for one of the most powerful productivity principles on the planet, and it applies perfectly to studying. It's the 80-20 rule.
This is a big one. Not all the material in your textbook is equally important. In fact, a tiny portion of it, about 20%, is probably going to account for most of the questions on your exam. So your job isn't to learn 100% of everything. It's to find that critical 20%. And how do you do that? Simple. Pay attention to what your professor spends the most time on in class, look at the chapter summaries, and find old exams. That's where the gold is.
So you've used the 80-20 rule to focus on the right stuff. Great, but do you actually get it? Or did you just kind of memorize the words? This technique, from a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, is the ultimate way to find out. The process is genius in its simplicity. You pick a topic. Then, and this is the key, you try to explain it out loud, in the simplest terms you can, as if you were teaching it to a 10-year-old. The moment you get stuck or you have to use a bunch of complicated jargon, boom, You've just found a gap in your understanding. So you go back to the book, you figure it out, and you try teaching it again until it's smooth, simple, and clear.
Okay, let's be real. In a perfect world, we're all prepared weeks in advance. But sometimes life happens and you've got an exam tomorrow and you are nowhere near ready. This is not the time to panic. It's time to be strategic.
This little matrix is your battle plan for cramming. You've got to be ruthless with your time. You start in box number 1, no exceptions. That's the stuff you're bad at, that you know is going to be on the test. That's where you get the most points for your time. After you've worked on that, then you can move to the other boxes. Don't waste time reviewing stuff you already know well until you've patched up your biggest weaknesses.
And this is your secret weapon on test day. Before you even read a single question, flip over your test booklet and just dump your brain. Write down every formula, every key date, every important term you've been trying to remember. This does 2 things. 1, it gets it out of your head so you don't have to stress about forgetting it. And 2, you've basically just created your own little reference sheet for the rest of the exam.
So there you go. This is the new toolkit. It's not about willpower, it's about strategy. You shift your mindset, you build systems to beat procrastination, you use powerful techniques like Feynman's to ensure you actually get it, and you prioritize like a pro when you're short on time.
Look, knowing all of this is great, but knowledge without action is totally useless. So the real question is, what are you going to do now? What's the one tiny simple thing from all this that you can try in the next 15 minutes? Maybe it's just trying to explain one concept to an imaginary student. Maybe it's setting a timer. The path to studying smarter doesn't start tomorrow. It starts with that one small step right now.